Alright, big news. Blue Lock Rivals is dropping a new update this week, and it's bringing something really exciting. The 8 vs 8 MAHEM Limited Time Mode. Yep, you heard it right. A full 8 vs 8 mode where, chaos is guaranteed. This is going to be a lot of fun, and today we're going to break down everything we know, what might happen, and what to expect from this update. First of all, let's talk about the 8x8 MAHEM Mode. This is a limited time event, which means it won't be around forever. You'll get a chance to play it for a short period, probably a week, maybe longer, depends on how people will react before it goes away. The idea is simple. 2 teams, 8 players each, all on the same map. But maybe they will also make a bigger map for this mode. It's massive compared to regular matches, which are usually smaller, and it's going to feel wild with 16 people on the field at the same time. Now, how will it work? We don't have exact details yet, but we can make some guesses based on past events. For example, in regular matches, you can pick your styles, use moves and combos. In 8x8, it might be different. One possibility is that you won't be able to use moves at all, just normal movement and passes. This makes sense because with 16 players on a small map, if everyone starts spamming their moves, it could get super chaotic. Imagine 16 Kaiser shots and dribbles flying everywhere. Total chaos. So, it's possible the game will limit moves to keep it fun and playable, but this is still a guess. It could also allow moves, but we'll have to wait and see. Speaking of maps, the current map might be too small for 16 players. Normally, matches are designed for fewer people. In 8x8, it might feel cramped, so the developers might expand the map to make it easier to play, move around, and avoid getting stuck in a crowd. A bigger map would make sense and let the game feel more natural, even with so many players. Another thing about this update is that it's not just about the new mode. There will probably be refreshes and changes to existing characters and styles. The big one we know about is NEL Isagi. He's likely to be downgraded from World Class to Mythic Rarity. This has been hinted at for a while, and it's almost confirmed. The reason is to balance the meta because there are too many world-class characters dominating matches. But NEL might not be the only one. One style from Mythic Rarity could also be downgraded to Legendary. We don't know who exactly, but it's something to watch for. These downgrades might sound bad, but they actually make the game more balanced and fun, giving lower-tier styles a chance to shine. Players will need to save for the pulls, I guess, because I know how many people want to play with him. Besides downgrades, there might be surprises in the update. For example, there's a chance for a rework of Yukimiya. We don't know the details, but if it happens, of course, he will get a new move or an improved style. Reworks are always exciting because they can totally change how a character plays and give you new aura, I can say, to try out. Now let's think about how 8 vs 8 could feel in practice. Playing solo might be tricky because it's a team mode. You'll need at least passes, but I do know how players hate passing. I genuinely don't know how they're going to play this mode playing solo, so yeah, you will play with 7 other players, which makes it a lot different from 5 vs 5 matches. This could be a lot of fun if you're with friends, but if you're solo, it might be chaotic. Communication will be key, and finally, passes could make a huge difference in who wins. The style buffs are also something to look out for. Some characters might get stronger in this update. For example, Shadow's strikes might get a buff. Right now, his hits are literally worse than basic Isagi's direct shot, but after the update, they could hit much harder, making him actually mythic in matches. They might also change his animation shot, the basic move, because when you are mid-animation, everyone can take the ball without any problem, and that's actually pissing me off sometimes. Also, one thing I want to talk about as an addition to what I said in my previous video is the idea of making all styles into their NEL versions. This comes from a poll the devs recently did. They asked the community, if we reworked a character and it was a fire rework, would you want their rarity promoted and them to become the NEL of their old style? Around 81% of people said yes, which is a really strong signal that the community likes the idea. The key thing to note here is that this is mostly about rare, epic, and legendary styles, not world-class styles. It's about giving older or less used styles a chance to shine again, make them more fun to play, and keep them competitive. A NEL version doesn't just buff stats, it can give new moves, special effects, and even cutscenes. Basically, it's a full rework, but it still keeps the core of the character that people love. This ties really well into the new-gen discussion we've had before. With so many world-class styles, some characters feel overcrowded at the top. That's why the idea of new-gen exists, to balance the tiers and give strong, young players their own meaningful category. NEL versions do something similar, but for the lower tiers. You get the best of both worlds. Older characters get stronger and cooler, but it doesn't break the balance for new or high-tier players. The cool thing about NEL reworks is also that it could include characters who didn't get a lot of panels in the manga. They could still get awesome moves, special abilities, and playmaking potential in the game. And because the community clearly wants this, it's very likely we'll see some of these reworks in the near future. Overall, this update seems designed to shake up the meta. Between 8v8 MAHEM, possible downgrades, reworks, and buffs, there will be a lot to explore. Players will have to try new strategies, experiment with teams, and see how the new mode works. The fact that it's a limited time event makes it even more exciting. You don't want to miss it. The 8x8 mode could also be a testing ground for future changes. If it's successful, the developers might use the lessons from this mode to improve regular gameplay. Maybe future updates will include more team-based modes, bigger maps, or even more experimental features. Limited time events are often used to try new things before making them permanent, so this is an opportunity to see what could come later. There's also the question of style usage in 8 versus 8. If moves are allowed, it will be insane. Picture 16 players with moves ready, hitting volleys, dribbles, and special shots at the same time. It could be unplayable. That's why there's a chance moves might be disabled, making it more about positioning, passing, and teamwork than raw damage or combos. It will be a totally different experience from normal matches. Besides Shadou, other characters might get minor buffs too. These could be small stat increases or move improvements. Even small changes can make a big difference in 8 versus 8, where every hit or pass counts more because there are more players on the field. Buffs and downgrades together will likely change the meta completely, giving new and old players a chance to shine. Finally, this update is exciting because it gives the community something fresh and chaotic to enjoy. 8 versus 8 MAHEM is a big change from normal gameplay, and with the limited time event, style refreshes, and potential surprises like a Yukimiya rework, there's a lot to look forward to. Whether you're playing solo, with friends, or testing out new styles, this update promises chaos, fun, and a chance to rethink strategies. To sum up, the 8 versus 8 MAHEM limited time mode is coming soon. Expect massive team matches, chaos with 16 players, and maybe even no moves to keep things balanced. NEL Isagi is likely downgraded to Mythic. One Mythic style could become legendary, and Shidou's strikes are getting buffed. Plus, there's a chance of a Yukimiya rework and other surprises. The map might be bigger, moves might be limited, and teamwork will be crucial. This is going to be a wild update, and everyone should be ready to jump in, test it out, and see how it changes the game. So, get ready for chaos, strategy, and new meta changes. Whether you're a fan of solo play or team coordination, this update will shake up everything you know about Blue Lock Rivals. Don't miss it.